Hi everybody, welcome to Simply Scuba. In today's video I'm going to be taking a closer look at the Miflex XT Tech hose. So this is the regulator hose in particular. The hose itself doesn't change too much between low pressure inflator hoses, the quick disconnect hoses and the regulator hoses. The only thing that really changes is going to be in that female thread that's attaching onto the second stage. This is a good in-between between a light braided hose and a heavy rubber hose. This is somewhere in the middle because it's got this smooth outer shell. So with braided hoses, if you're diving somewhere warm, and it's kind of rubbing against your neck, that can get quite uncomfortable, whereas this is nice and smooth. It's still fairly light compared to a rubber hose, which tend to be quite heavy, especially compared to braided hoses, but also they don't tend to float as much. They're not quite as buoyant as a braided hose. So these are the nice sort of in-between hoses. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so this is how it arrives in a cool little sort of dry bag, so you can reuse that. Obviously you're not going to store your hoses in it, but you can use this for sort of whatever. So open here, do not pull from sides. So Velcro closure, the little sort of tag sort of comes off, roll top, and then on the inside, open it up, you get, so that's the bag itself. So the hose itself, obviously, Miflex XT Tech, that's in Italian. Inspect your hoses, there is English, German, a few different languages. And yeah, so a little bit of sort of information about the hose itself. One of those silica gel packets, do not eat. And then you get the hose itself. So looking over the hose, so this is the regulator hose. So this will be a 9/16 inch thread, pretty strong ferrule, and it actually has XT Tech and Miflex sort of written on it. So that way you know it's a sort of an official product. And you get this, the pretty cool sort of outer shell. You can see through it, and you have these sort of pips running along. This is the internal braiding. If you look under a sort of a close light, you can actually see the braiding underneath it, and feels lighter than a rubber hose. That the heaviest bit is in the metal portions at the bottom. The actual hose itself, nice and smooth. It's quite that sort of plasticky feel. It does have flex, not quite as much as their sort of braided hoses, but it does still have sort of plenty of flex. And then at the far end, we have this just a 3/8 inch sort of fitting to your first stage. If I just get my calipers out, so you know the diameter of the hose. It's a pretty standard diameter. It'll be about the same diameter as a the rubber hose, but across it's about 12 millimeters, if that helps in any way. But yeah, that's pretty standard. So if you've got a hose clip, then yeah, this is pretty standard size. So those are Miflex XT Tech regulator hoses, kind of the best of both worlds. They're not too buoyant, so they don't float up, especially when you have longer lengths. They've got nice smooth outer shells, so they're comfortable against bare skin, but they're not too heavy, so you're not adding too much extra weight to your regulators. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. There'll be more information on our website, simplyscuba.com. There's going to be a link to the XT Tech hose range down in the description below. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.